Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. I am Mrs. Best. My sincerest apologies. This recap is a tad late. It has been an extremely busy week for me, but better late than never, as I like to say. But we are here to go over Love After Lockup from WeTV. This episode's titled Runaway. Fiancé, this was a weird episode to me. It was very, very strange, but I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. So we're going to start with Zariah and Troy. This is a very strange couple. She is the daughter of preachers. She's a PK, but then at the same time, of course, she's rebelled, had a baby at a wedlock, things that you're not supposed to do when you're the daughter of a preacher. She has done. And now she's dating an inmate. And at first, my concern was like, all right, are the parents going to like him? Because it seemed like her dad was really trying to convince dude to like come to Jesus and find him and accept Christ and all this stuff. So they're already married, Zariah and Troy, and she's seeing her friend who's also a psychic. I thought psychics just knew the future. This chick had to talk to the cards and was hollering at the spirits and stuff, which I didn't quite understand. But hey, if she likes it, I love it. Her beliefs. She gets a reading from a friend, and essentially the reading says that Troy is going to break her heart. He is not. This is not going to work out. And when Zariah hears this, I guess she believes in the psychic's cards over the blood of Christ, as her father would say. But she breaks down. She's really upset. She's like, okay, maybe he could not be the person for me. In my opinion, it seems like she's looking for an excuse to like not be with him. Maybe it's nerves. I don't know, but it looks like she's looking for an excuse to not be with him. Now, the psychic didn't tell us no new secrets. She said that Troy needs to work on himself first and that he is not Zariah's person. So she's nervous because of this reading, which shows you that the love is immature. Because a psychic telling you something ain't gonna work shouldn't be the thing that just makes you like, oh, this is not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? It does not work that way. But he calls immediately after the reading completes, and it turns out he will be getting out the next day within 24 hours. I said, oh, Lord, that's fast. That's really, really fast. This girl nervous, don't know if she could be with him, and he's about to parole to her house. So we get to release day, and her entire family comes to the release, which I thought was really strange. Like, these are his in-laws. Like, couldn't they wait? I don't trust it, especially with how extra her parents are. I just don't trust it. But the whole family is there. They arrive at the prison, and she gets an alert on her phone from Troy's parole officer, and he is informing her that he is going to be the one to be picking him up from jail. Now, after she's informed of this, she then gets a call from Troy himself from jail, and he's upset. He's saying it's weird that the parole officer wants to pick him up. He's worried, but at the same time, he's saying he doesn't have any warrants, no holds. He's not in any trouble, so he should be able to be released. And it was just strange because through the whole ordeal, like, I'm not trying to be mean. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their flaws, y'all. I am flawed too. But listen, when I go through a breakout of the skin, whether it's hormonal acne, ingrown hair, or just a dry skin day, I'm not, the last thing your skin needs is for you to be caking on that cheap yellow tinted makeup. I didn't understand it. Not only is she wearing, my husband is laughing next to me, which is gonna make me laugh. Don't do that. But I'm just keeping it real. Like, it really severely aggravated me. It made my teeth itch. I cannot understand. This girl's face is broken out. And she's a pretty girl, but her face is hollering for help. And the thing of it is, she could have PCOS, it could be hormonal. Who knows? But when your skin is going through a breakout, like, give it a break. You don't have to wear the makeup. Y'all, we got to be easier on each other because her skin is hollering for safety and sanctuary and help. But that's just a side note. But every time Troy got upset, she just starts blotting her face with makeup. And it's a weird thing to do out of nerves. That's a very strange thing to do out of nerves. I didn't understand it. Anywho, what ends up happening is Zariah and her family literally follow the PO because he does come and get Troy. They get in the car and they go somewhere, and the whole family in multiple cars ends up following him. Now, the last thing we see is they pull up to this location. The PO has parked. It looks like he's gone inside or something with Troy. But we're gonna see what happens when she comes out because he probably know that he was followed. You know, law enforcement tend to be aware of those types of things, and it doesn't, to me, look the best. But what I will say, because we didn't get much, they kind of left us on a cliffhanger. I understand now why the internet is mad at this girl's ponytail. I understand. I absolutely understand. I don't just Google it. Give the video a like if you haven't already. Moving on to the next couple, we're going to discuss Kim and Joey. So they're a hot mess. They've known each other, I guess, their whole lives. She seems to have a thing for guys that are not the best for her or into drugs, things of that nature. Long story short, she's dating Joey today. Um, and he last we saw he heard from somebody on the outside that she was cheating on him with somebody else, says that he saw a picture of her hugged up on another dude and all these weird things. So she tells him that she went out to a brewery and took a picture with a guy named Josh who she has known her entire life, and it was like a group photo. They did show the photo on the show and it did look harmless. But I'm like, who told him that? But somebody's like really trying to cause trouble between them. And that's when things get messy. Because why do you have exes that are trying to cause issues between you and your current? To me, that's just messy to even know somebody like that. Like whenever people say to me, like, "Oh, my ex is crazy. My ex is a stalker," I'm like, "And what are you? Because you liked this person. You was dealing with them before they was stalking you and crazy." So I always wonder, but it doesn't seem like she did anything wrong, and she ends up questioning Joey on who told him the information that he questioned her with, because she goes, in order for them to talk to you, they would need your inmate number and some of your personal information. So it's got to be somebody that's, close or important to you. And next thing you know, he seems hell bent on blaming Kim and her ex. And it turns out that he has a crazy ex as well. And they broke up before Kim and Joey because of this ex. So, as defensive as he got, as mad as he got, because she got smart and was like, but wait a minute, who got your inmate number telling you stuff about me? Then he instantly got defensive. They're both stupid to me because she should have caught that. Her antennas are broken. And he's not good at covering up his little lies. But we will see. We will see. So Kim goes to see her cousin, who's also her nail lady. And it turns out that Kim needs to get a divorce, but she can't divorce because the state she lives in, which is one of the Carolinas, you have to live separately from your spouse for a year before you can be granted a divorce, which is common in southern states from people I know, things that I have seen. I actually think that's good because it may be to make people careful to get married. Like, do I really want to do this? Because if I want to leave you, I got to be stuck to you for a year before I could really be done with you and hope that it gets granted. Like, maybe that's a good thing. Anywho, so it turns out that Kim is shady. Her cousin who does her nails also dated Joey when she was 15. Turns out Kim is dating the guy who her cousin lost her virginity to. I said, "Oh Jesus, fix it." This that's your blood cousin. That's your blood cousin. Why are you dating the boy that she lost her virginity to? That's just awkward. Also, Bess says, I like that law. It gives people time to know if they truly want to separate or not. Hmm. Interesting. Very interesting. Anywho, why would you date the boy that your cousin lost her virginity to? That's always going to be something awkward for her. And that's a little thirsty. And then it's kind of breaking girl code, in my opinion. But then, in addition to that, he cheated on her cousin. And I guess one of the girls that he cheated on Kim's cousin with was Kim. But she says they didn't sleep together, but they did everything else that you could do, whatever the hell that means. So I'm this is just messy. The whole situation is just messy. Now, for obvious reason, her cousin does not think that this relationship will work. She says she'd give them a strong 15% chance that their relationship will work out. That was interesting. You know, I'm not surprised though, because Kim gives the type of energy, especially with like the men she's dated, and like she tends to make herself into like being the sole victim when we all play a part in things going wrong, you know, to some extent. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. She just seems like when it comes to men, if you swing it her way, she's not gonna deny. Moving on, you guys. That's all that happened with Kim and Joey. We will see more. I don't think this couple's gonna make it, but they're also being advertised as being a part of Life After Lockup, which is gonna premiere I think in October or something like that. But I'm like, in order to be on Life After Lockup, I guess they had to have lasted. So I don't know. They annoy me. Anywho, moving on. We're gonna get to the next couple, which is Shante and True. So we've seen True's big ass get released. He is going to be on parole until 2026. They do go to eat. Shante, True, his sister, his niece, and his nephew. And it's interesting because his sister doesn't think that he and Shantae will work out. But then also on the YouTube streets, apparently some bloggers are reporting that Shantae and True's storyline may be BS. Parts of it may just be for the show, all of these things. But I mean, I think that's to be expected with the climate of reality television today. Like, it's not 100% reality. And if you think that it is, then you need to go outside more, you know? Talk to other people, interact, put your phone away for a day, something of that nature. You know, try it. It's healing. Anywho, Shantae and True, not too much happened with them this episode. Um, he does make some concerning comments that show like how immature he is. He feels that people take parole way too seriously. I'm like, bro, you sound stupid. You just got released. What do you mean take parole too seriously? You don't want to go back. He's like, if you don't break the law, ain't no problem. No. That's how it is when you have not served time in prison and are coming out on parole for a felony offense. That's how I get to live my life. I don't break the law, I'm left alone. It doesn't work that way. You got to check in. He can drug test you if he feels like it. He is the deciding factor on if you can be allowed to leave the state, get a passport. Like, why is he making it seem like it's some frivolous thing? That's the thing I don't like. If I get arrested and go to jail, I have a shot. If True gets arrested and goes to jail, he got priors. It could be a problem. Like, he's not thinking. You can really tell he spent 13 years in jail and he's only like, I think 30 or something. He's something young. So I did the math when I was watching because I was like, oh, he's so immature. And then when he told the time that he's been in there, it was like he had to have gotten locked up at like 18 or something. Like, especially as a boy, your brain is just like not there. Um, Moving on, his sister don't think they're gonna work out, and True isn't taking parole seriously, which is concerning. Now, Shantae is slow. She says she spent $2,500 on clothes and jewelry for when he got out. Man, you think after spending 13 years in jail, you wouldn't be worried about having the newest Jordan. Like, you would probably just be happy to have like a pair of Crocs and like a t-shirt from like anywhere. Like, just be happy for freedom. Why do the clothes matter? Why do the clothes matter? I just don't get people like that. But I'm also cheap as hell, so there is that. Um, it was just a weird thing for her to say. Now, I didn't understand why he made the comment that Shantae needs to put it on him. And why do we need to know that he has not played with his little tillywhacker in over a week to prepare for sleeping with her? That just sounds backwards. Because if you haven't played with your own self in a week, and then you expect to be having this like fabulous sexual rendezvous, like, he must be a minute man and okay with that. Because 13 years, no coochie, you ain't used your hand in a week. It's not going to last long. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to get too graphic. I'll give the young lad a smooth, solid 30 seconds with Mississippi's and alligators in between. I'll give him that. That's what I'll give him. Moving on. He referred to himself as a monster in the bedroom. It was just really awkward. I'm like, you are not a monster in the bedroom. Young man, you have been in jail, locked up, away from Coochie, kitty cat, meow. You've been away from all of that since 17 or 18 years old. He said that he slept with 22 women as of 17 or 18. That's great. You can sleep with 100 women. That doesn't mean you satisfied all of them or did it right. You know, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. All I'm saying is I've been with my partner since we were teenagers. Now he's a grown man. Things are not the way that they were back then in a positive light, is what I will say. So it's like, of course, what they say, practice makes perfect. He hasn't had any practice, at least in 13 years. So, I don't know. It's a concern. It's just a concern. So he then wants to go to a sex shop. Another clear sign that the man is a little immature. And nothing is wrong with sex shops or sex toys or any of that. Nothing's wrong with them. I enjoy a good sex shop. They're fun. But the way that he wanted to go there, you would think he was skipping to his loo. He was so excited to get to that sex shop. He wants to use sex toys on Shante. Um, he does tell us, I was right. He last had sex at 17 years old. I promise you, he had no clue what he was doing. I remember sex at 17. Looking back, it is not the good that I thought that it was. And that's just the fact. Hey, it's just the fact. So I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, you haven't had sex since 17. This is either going to go really good or really bad. It's just the way it goes. Now, she sneaks out because she's nervous about sex, and she says that she is kind of shy with it in general. Her body count is extremely low, which is fine. I kind of respect that. Nothing's wrong with that. More power to her. We need more of that in the world, honestly. So she's extremely nervous and doesn't feel experienced. And this is when we find out that she's stressed out about the money she spent. She spent a total of 30,000 on him, and he has no clue that she has lost her job. So this is just the hot mess express. Last thing we see from these two is they go to an Airbnb and he bought $199 worth of toys. It's always somebody broke and without a job and income just shopping it up. She was outside nervous about the sex on the phone with her friend, and he's inside picking up whatever the hell he's picking up, and she's coming inside to pay. Ain't no way in hell I could never date a prisoner. I really could not. I couldn't do it. And those jail app things are confusing. I have a friend in jail right now, and sometimes he's like, I didn't hear from you for days. I don't know how to work this freaking app. You know, these are the things that happens. Anywho, she was shy, but they end up doing the do. They're intimate together. Everything went well with their night. And then the next morning she wake up and he is missing in action, gone, nowhere to be seen. So I don't know. We will see where this goes. I don't fully know if I buy it, but it was a weird thing to see. Moving it along, like the video. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, I promise you won't regret it. And if you do, you can change your mind for free. Look at the Lord work. Anywho, Hope and Arthur, I can't stand either of them. And then allegedly Arthur is back in jail. He was just arrested again. So, I'm not surprised. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not surprised. Um, Arthur gets released and his mom is a problem. Now, why are these two women, his mom and his little girlfriend, why are they racing to hug him? Why are they competing with each other? It was really annoying and childish. Like, I don't have time for that. Um, Hope looked a mess. I don't know what the hell she was wearing. Her hair looked dry. I needed everything to be figured out, but he loves it. That's whatever. Now, Arthur says he's done being tempted by the streets, and it's interesting that the mom got upset at Hope being there to pick him up when he wasn't even aware that his mother would be there. I'm like, where did you think he would be released to? Just onto the street and nobody would be there? And then he'd be like, Mama, like, what was she expecting? Doesn't make any sense. Now, he immediately says, because he just got out of jail, the first thing he wants to do is go and get food. And the mom immediately acts jealous because when they go to get the food, he wanted to hop in the truck with Hope. He want to be near the coochie. Like, can you blame him? I don't blame him. Now, oh, yeah. The mom claims that if she wanted for Arthur to come home with her to Vegas, that's exactly what he would do. I don't like moms like that. Like, your child is grown, and even if he wasn't grown, maybe getting away from you would be better because when you were responsible for him, look where he ended up. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I know that's hard for some parents to hear, but hey, it's just the way it is. But the mom is acting real like clingy and weird and like just awkward over him. And I don't know. When I saw him and Hope interact, I did not get like the chemistry of any type of love or care or like even full appreciation between them. All I got was lust. It just really seemed like outside of sex, I don't feel like they would have anything to like talk about. Like with my partner, if we lose power, if we lose electricity, if the internet was to disappear, I feel like I could still have a good time with my spousal unit or like find stuff to talk to him about. And it should be that way. I feel like with most people, but with Hope and Arthur, I didn't get that energy. I just didn't. Because every time they had the opportunity when they were alone, it was let me tongue you down at this red light. Let me touch that. Like I get like lusting, but they were like real silent once all that other stuff was out the way. But that's just my opinion. My cat is attacking my property. Apologies for the background noise to everybody on these YouTube streets. Hi Shayna. Thank you for being here. Um Lord help us. Ignore the noise, y'all, in the background. My cat is playing with fidget spinners. It's the Hot Mess Express. Anywho, the mom is funny. They go out to eat, and when they sit down to eat, they are still trying to. The mom is still trying to get him to come back with her, and I'm like, let it go. If he wanted to come with you, he would come with you. I didn't like the competition between Hope and the mom. It kept happening, especially at the dinner. And the mom learns that they're going to be sleeping in Hope's truck and not a hotel, not an Airbnb, not a camper, not an RV, not a tent, but in the back of her truck. Now, this is common for truckers, a lot of what they call them cabs. There's like beds in the back and things like that. I had a cousin who was a trucker who we never saw, obviously, because he was a trucker, but he showed me like the back area. It was pretty cool, but I didn't want to touch it. I didn't know what happened back there. Didn't trust that cousin. Anywho, but the mom doesn't want them to sleep in the truck. She compares the truck to jail, and Arthur's like, I'm not even tripping because he just wants the booty. That's all he cares about. And the mom makes a comment that she doesn't like that he defends her. Why you keep defending her? Why you keep attacking her? Let it be. Let it go. Sing the Frozen song, lady. I mean, why was she hating on Hope? So I didn't quite understand any of that. So then Hope makes a comment that he has siblings and, she questions where the family was at for Arthur financially, which I felt like was really like kind of disrespectful because even though you've been dating him and supporting him financially, his family has been supporting him forever. You've just supported him for a small time. Um, so you can't really question his mom. I don't think that's fair for her to do. But she does question them. And the mom explains that she fell back on, supporting Arthur financially because he started to get in a lot of trouble in jail. And she felt like, why am I supporting this person who's getting into trouble? But she also explained to him that he was not forgotten at all. And I think that's fair. I think a lot of time people in jail expect for people on the outside to stop their whole lives to support them in every way possible. But it's like, listen, they still have to pay their rent, make sure there's food in their mouth. Like she said, she had his siblings and other children to take care of. She can't stop the world to take care of the kid who chose to make a mistake when he had the help of his family. This isn't the case of oh, I grew up poor and I didn't have this in my life. Like you did have some support. You just chose to rebel. and he gets emotional. He does break down. And what I saw happen and what they explained is I feel like Arthur was spoiled because he is the only sibling out of all of his mother's kids who has a different father. It also sounds like he may be the oldest. So he says it was hard for him to not see his mom for 4 years. But there seems to be a lot of love there. And I think the mom just needs to learn to let go a little bit and allow him to grow. There's probably a lot of mom guilt there. Because, like, once you start to, like, peel the little layers of their little stupid ass onion, you start to see, like, everybody's kind of just hurt and dealing with their own trauma in a certain way. What that family needs, like, in real time is actually, like, some therapy. Because that's a hard thing to be the one sibling that has a different dad. Like everyone else has this connection and you feel different. I don't have that experience with my siblings, but I have friends who have been open about, having that in their family. So it's difficult. I don't think hope should like add fuel to the fire. Let them people heal. Like it's okay to remove yourself from the family and let them figure it out. And then you come back. But her throwing all these jabs and stuff at the mom is like not necessary. It's just not. Um, but I do understand she's helpful financially, but she also has to learn to balance the respect. Like if you have nothing nice to say, then say nothing at all, Hope. Shut up, please. Um, Thank you. If you've watched this far, go ahead and like the video if you haven't already. I appreciate you guys. The last couple we are going to discuss is Julian and Christine, and they are not just the last couple, but the newest couple. We meet this couple on this episode, and Julian is free. Christine is not. She robbed some banks, 6 of them to be exact. He is a writer, and he met her when he was getting intel on prisoners for a book that he was writing. And it turns out they are now working on a book together. She is doing 5 years for unarmed bank robbery, which I didn't even know is a thing. Who the hell is handing somebody money without seeing a weapon? Not giving you shit without seeing a weapon. And I done worked places when I used to work retail. I have unfortunately experienced being robbed while on the clock or being the manager on duty, gun in the head and all of that. Listen, unless I see a weapon, I'm not giving you shit. There was one time we did get robbed at a store. I can't say the name because they'll come after me legally, but we got robbed and the guy did not show a weapon at first. He was like, "Open the register, sis." I said, "No. Who the hell are you?" And he was like, "Please, just open it." I said, "Please, just leave." And he pulled out a gun. I immediately opened the register. But it's still like, I'm not just going to give you money when I don't see a weapon. But maybe banks have different procedures. Also, that's all dumb. But that's what she did. She did 5 years for unarmed bank robbery. They only spent a week together in person before she went to jail. And I am concerned about this week because we do learn that she was on the needle real bad. And that's part of the reason she was robbing banks. But he's taking care of her cats, which I actually really enjoyed. I love cats. I'm totally a cat lady. We're a cat household. Uh, but yeah, I love that he's taking care of her cats. Now, it turns out that he's Pentecostal. These are the type of Christians that speak in tongues and be falling out in church, doing the dance all over the place, like very, very intense and expressive type of Christianity. And she is an atheist, so she don't believe there's nothing, or I believe that's what atheists believe, or do they not believe in any? Do they not have? I don't know how it works, but they don't believe in God. I know that much. She feels like their religious differences will cause a problem once they live together because he is Pentecostal Christian, which I think is a realistic concern of hers. And the fact that she's even concerned for it makes me think, okay, even though she's in prison and robbed some banks, maybe she is genuine, because usually a sign of someone being genuine is her having that concern, because that means she has the care and want for it to work out. So I'll give her that. And also, she robbed the bank when she was on the needle, heavy into drugs. I don't know if it's because I work in the mental health, but I just don't feel like we should judge people for drug use. You never know what someone's been through or what, drives them to it. And sometimes people still do drugs and want to stop. I don't feel we should judge people for that. But that's me. Anywho, they have the plan to move in together, live together, and get married. But she has concerns because he has a low body count, and that's where I was like, wait, what? You have concerns he has a low body count? Do you want a former hoe for a man? Like, what? So then we find out he's only ever been with his ex-wife, it sounds like intimately. At least he had a wife. She's an ex, but he had a wife. That's something. And I guess I'm like, is body count that? You better teach that man how to hit it. That's how I feel. Teach him, Christine, teach him. So release day comes and she's gonna end up getting, out, which is a good thing because they're gonna find out if it'll work. And he brings the cat, puts it in an outfit to make it look like royalty. It was an interesting thing. This is an interesting couple. I'm not gonna lie, I'm highly entertained. Um, but she is at the same prison that Martha Stewart served time at, so extremely minimum security. It's actually called a camp. um, and the cat was everything in his outfit. The cat was really, I love that cat. That cat is okay with being held, okay with being spoiled. They brought the cat with them to travel. They have the backpack I want to get for my cat. Like, that's how you have cats. That's how you have cats. I love it. Anywho, she gets out and she's extremely horny. She's jumping all on him, making these awkward comments. They're like horny nerds. It was kind of funny. But it looks like they may have a shot. I guess we'll know more. That's all we got from them on this episode. But that was an interesting episode of Love After Lockup. I really did enjoy Julian and Christine. I do think Kim and Joey are both idiots. Zariah and Troy, I do not think will work out, not even a little bit. And I really want her to allow her face to have a break, go see the dermatologist and or endocrinologist because it looks like that's hormonal acne and figure that out, please. Shante and True are bullshitting. That's just what it is. But I am glad Love After Lockup is back. It's one of my favorite shows, and I appreciate y'all for recapping it with me every week. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. The next recap I'll be doing will be featuring James from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel. He will be helping me to co-host the recap of the finale of The Housewives of New Jersey. And later, I'll have a song review with talented rapper, aka artist, Oh So Best. Thank you for watching. Love and light to you all. Thug Life, Replay Gang. I love you. And adios.